filling the hard drives. Oh my god, XSplit, you can do it. I know this transition's hard, but you can do it, buddy. You can do it. Oh, this is super annoying. XSplit frozen. Greetings and welcome to Die Dragon Die presents the Grimstone Chronicles, specifically the side campaign of Master of Puppets. I am your DM and host tonight. Happy Halloween. I'm joined by two-thirds of the Ontario crew, Adam and Ahmed, in order that I see them on my monitor, and your mics are now hot, hot, hot.
Eating hot, hot, hot. Hey guys, what's going on?
Winter, or not winter, but like fall and Halloween, all that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I officially have decided that I'm an old man.
Welcome to the club.
I turned up the heat in the basement. I got a sweater. Because,
No, I get it. Makes sense.
So I shouldn't tell you that I haven't turned on my heat yet in my apartment, and I just opened up the screen door because it was warm in here.
oh, you totally,
Yep.
you do you, man. It's okay. When I was during the Thanksgiving talk with my grandma, she was telling me about how oh, we got 6 inches of snow last night. It's so winter wonderland outside. How much snow do you have? It's like, well, it got to -1 one evening. There was frost on my windows that one time.
Well, yeah, it's the difference between plains weather and, you know, like Great Lakes weather at this time.
Exactly. It rained a lot.
This time, my favorite season is fall. Like,
I like fall.
Yep. You're
Fall
not.
was
It's
my
not too
favorite
warm.
season.
It's not too cold. There are no bugs because spring is kind of also that, but you know, lots of bugs depending on where you are. And yeah, it just is. I was also born in fall. That might have something to do with it. But.
So I liked fall a lot more before I lived specifically where I am now, because I'm I am a kilometer off the lake. It rains so much in the fall. It's just mud. It is mud for 2.5 months or 3 months of mud. It's 3 months of mud, and it's like, I don't really want rain. I would rather the hot balls of summer right now or the winter where it's at least dry. Like either of these are better than this because it's too wet.
How was your Halloween?
We had kids. We had 50 kids. So there's 3 schools near my place. We usually get 200 to 300.
Yeah, I remember that.
But they were all preschoolers. Like, it was because the schools did events. So people would bring in the ones who are like, their parents are specifically teaching their kids to talk to strangers. It's like the ritual of Halloween. No, you go to that house that you don't know, you ring that doorbell, and you get candy, and you say thank you.
Nice.
So, you know, it was good. It's good.
We got 0 here today, but I'm also in apartments in the Seattle area. And I actually don't remember a year in the last 10 where I had a trick-or-treater. If somebody came up to my door and knocked, it'd be like, what are you doing here?
How did you get in?
Bunch of but like a stark hallway with a bunch of nobody's got decorations out or anything like that. But.
So I've got some neighbors, man, that are like. So there's some people who do the whole we're going gung ho. The people who go gung ho went mega gung ho. They are like the one place they actually have full dummies, like dressed up dummies that were I actually stopped for one for it to cross the street because it was like, oh, it's not a guy waiting to cross the street. It's part of the Halloween decorations.
And I'm getting psyched out by Halloween decorations. That's funny.
Well, I mean, recently I did encounter the when I was driving to the gym at 9 o'clock at night, and a small child in bare feet ran across the road in the middle of the night, and it was and I had to like lock up the brakes to not run over the small child who was running from something, and I stopped, and a kid looked at me and then kept running, and I'm looking for like, am I in a horror movie? Is Jason chasing this kid?
Ran into the bushes.
The kid kept running. It's like, take a second, you look and go, okay, there's nobody chasing. My kid running.
You look in your rearview mirror.
15 seconds is all I'm giving this. That's about as much social. Kids now, he knows not to be in the road.
Just a confirmation, we are not going to have a Halloween.
We are. We have a Halloween theme. It is a mini Halloween theme, but there is a Halloween theme, which if because we had a little bit of a late start because of Halloween, real life Halloween, which you're going to tell us how your Halloween went, Ahmed.
18 sessions later.
No, it will be a couple session game.
Let's go.
On Tuesday this
it's
week.
Not a Halloween game without Mark making a questionable decision.
What did we play last? We played it on Wednesday. We finished the Get Bargle Part 2, and then on Wednesday night I was like, okay, I'm done. I worked all day and I'm done. And then Thursday was kind of like a low grade cold. I actually didn't work on Thursday. Felt kind of crummy on Friday, but I was sitting on the couch Friday after work going, okay, what's this next adventure gonna be? I got it. I think it'll be a good one. It'll be a little bit different, and I realize there is a little bit of a Halloween theme, and you'll know it when you see it.
It'll be a cackling witch with like the nose and the wart.
It's like you hear a howl over the wind.
It will be obvious after it is revealed.
You hear a cackle over the wind. Do you investigate? Nope. There's a child knocking at your door. Do you investigate? You open the answer the door. Nope.
The adventurers who refuse to adventure. Ah, yes, those games. Tell us about your Halloween evening, Ahmed. You went all out, apparently.
Yes, today was the day of adventure and I guess LARPing for the kids. I had them. I informed them that they had been training their entire lives as samurai and ninja, and they woke up after being teleported to a world where they were asked to fight Oni because of their bloodline or something like that. Anyways, they bought it, and I had bought LARP swords for them, and I had laid it on the bed next to them, and I had little bags for them with like their little scrolls of like magic and everything, and yeah, the entire house was all like, you know, the forest was in the living room, and the tent is in the. There's a dwarven city. My witch wife was there crafting potions and scrolls. Everything was in the dark. They had little lanterns. They had like a 5-foot, and they hit things. Hold on. And when they defeated monsters, they brought them back, and they were paid in jewels, and they bought stuff like scrolls and potions, and upgraded their armor, and they went to the garage and got the last scroll, defeated the ghost. It was good. It was great. That's awesome. I got them to scream because they saw this. Hold on, this was great. Hold on. This is the final monster. You're gonna love this shit. So I got a lot of stuff because I do a lot of airsoft. This is the final monster.
Well, that's pretty scary.
Oh hell yeah! Especially when he's suspended like midair in the dark. I was like, the monster's over here, and I had little red lights behind his eyes. Like that's his eye. Oh, it was great. They jump back. Oh, they jump back like ah, and they're like, I'm like, get him, and they ran, started smacking. It was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. They had a good laugh.
That's definitely a step up from stick your hand in a bowl of grapes kind of thing. Yeah, a bowl of noodles. You stick your head through the wall, and a bowl of noodles, and yeah. Definitely step up. Way to go, training the next generation of role players. That's awesome.
Yep.
No XP
characters tomorrow.
I noticed from between the pregame chat and the chat, you've upgraded your wife's position from
Oh, the dwarven.
to
Oh, she was she was the sorceress wife of a dwarven merchant. She was. So I said, you know, it's easier.
We're laughing.
I
with
had
you,
many
Ahmed.
roles.
No.
There are many options. That was
She's not very familiar with dwarven. Cool. I'm like, yeah.
That's awesome.
Charisma -8. You know.
Wow. All right, stop. Let's do a recap of what happened last game with these characters. Get Bargle Part 2. The party tracks down Bargle, who turns out to be many doppelgangers that have cannibalized a wizard named Bargle to steal both his identity and his magical power. The party confronts Master Bargle in search for information about the whereabouts of Belafont's former companion. I have a name for her. You learned her name. We'll put that in the backstory. Her name is... Tessara Wynn.
Tessara Wynn.
And Bargle, who you interrogated, said that Tessara is in a forest city to the north. Basically a place that has been placed under the custodianship of the Imperium that used to be an elven capital. You know exactly where you need to go to find her.
Yeah.
At least if you trust Bargle or if his information is relevant. You know that she's a priestess and she likely is tending to a shrine there. Afterwards, they find and free a legendary trap maker named Tarp. An old kobold trapmaker that was dominated by one of the Bargles, and Barnabas made a deal with Tarp that if Tarp helps out around the tower, that Tarp can use the spellbooks and start to rebuild his own wizard and alchemist spellbooks, and basically his equipment, which had apparently been stolen by the Bargles and probably sold for cash.
Give me the cash.
The party then they traveled via wagon. They Junker and Rat did, because Junker was the only one that could drive the wagon. They tied the dire bat to the top of the wagon and drove it into town.
Okay.
And right now, the dire bat is kind of lording over the animal pen area in the entry hall of the tower. You still have a rotting carcass of a hydra that has been hollowed out inside your entryway. You have 2 lead pewter crystal constructs, which you learned. Each of the crystals, each of them has multiple crystals on their body if you zoom in. And each of those crystals is holding organic body parts. Some might actually be from this template called Bargle, or perhaps from other creatures. Barnabas learn how to command them. There is a control device, and I think he'll just kind of stick them up into the laboratory area to be played with at a future date.
Marty,
to collect dust in the laboratory. Yes.
Just an observation.
Mm-hmm.
Are we turning the Belafont Tower into a dungeon for another party to attack? Because it's starting to look a lot like there's a crazy wizard and some
How did the dire bat get here? Why do they keep it here? I don't know. It's just the dire bat.
Exactly.
It's the entry hall dire bat. Why are you questioning my adventure? I worked hard on this,
It's looking like kind of like every crazy dungeon you ever see. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yes, this is basically this is Exhibit A to any crazy dungeon that you ever come across, because you're like, yeah, we had one of those. We built one of those. It just organically over time, all this mishmash of random junk ends up in the tower, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. The short answer is yes.
Yep.
The party spends some time sorting through some of the loot that they grabbed from Bargle. They also are going to enter into a downtime. where they're going to do some training and selling and buying. Why don't we quickly do... I've rolled how many weeks before there is an event. Basically, a la the random generation of also downtime. Your training happens, you're able to sell your loot, you're able to do a little bit of your trading and further training afterwards, so easily 6 weeks do go by.
Okay, 6 weeks.
Los does training on his own just because he doesn't need... To save the party money, he could just run around the tower practicing with his swords. He doesn't sleep, so he could do training at double time. He also spent some time doing ghost face punch training, which is him just running into objects that are too thick for him to incorporeally run through. He did some rune trading, and with leveling up, the thing... let me see, what are the highlights of his level up? So Los put Heartseeker on his Astock. So his Astock is now a +2 Astock that is Ghost Touch and has Heartseeker. Heartseeker allows you to ignore concealment for creatures that effectively have a heart. And he went up in Sorcerer and got a few see invisibility, given that there were a lot of invisible creatures last level. His 7th level feat was extra traits. He has trap finding now, as per a rogue, which is a trait. Thank you, some obscure Paizo Pathfinder thing. And then arcane temper, which is a bonus to initiative and concentration. Let's see. Yeah, he's a ninja 3, swashbuckler 2, ghost, and on the back end it's all sorcerer. So that's Los's downtime. Chagga trains. He does some selling and he does some rune trading. Chagga is a fighter cleric on the front end. He worships the pattern in the weave, and he's sorcerer on the back end. For 7th level, he got quick channel and iron will through his sorcerer bloodline. Quick channel is pretty neat with this system, so he'll be able to channel twice in a round, effectively. Burning through 3 channels by doing so. He has Ego Whip, Fly, and he took Mind Thrust 3, which he will then, at 9th level, he gets a power where he automatically gets all the versions of the same mentalist spells. He'll retrain that one at a future level, but Mind Thrust 3, I think, does a whack load of damage. I think it's D8s up to 10. Yeah, it's D8s up to 10. Which is fine.
Pretty powerful.
Ego Whip is not the psionic Ego Whip, it is the psychic Ego Whip. Those things are different. Ego Whip does a penalty to one of the mental ability scores and staggered for the first round of the spell. Will negates. So it's not as bad as charisma damage. It's not psionics, which is a completely tack on different system where, you know, the Ego Whip does still exist out there.
Yep.
I've threatened this group for now 10 years to reintroduce psionics as an enemy. And they'll be happy when I do.
When you see bald dwarves with tattoos all over their faces, you walk the other direction.
No.
Purple, are they tattoos? Yes. Are the tattoos purple? Walk the other way.
All right, Ghost. He did some training, selling, and rune trading. I believe one of his bows is now fiery.
Yeah. And he got some new armor.
Cool.
Nice.
7th level feat for Ghost, I think, was
Bullseye shot.
Yeah, so he could take a move action, which is a single action in this system, to get a +4 on his next attack roll. Is
nice.
Pretty damn cool.
We had a lot of. It was hard to hit the thing.
Yep.
That's a good investment.
Junker does training and selling. His 7th level feat, because Adam complained that his character didn't have it already, was natural spell. It was just, druids don't have a lot of feats.
Yep.
So natural spell was a natural selection, and then 4th level druid spells is also a thing. Feel free to. I just jammed a bunch of prepared spells into the list. Feel free to change that.
We're eyeing up like giant version because it's funny.
Yep.
Maggots everywhere.
Yep. Barnabas. Barnabas trained, sold. He retrained a feat. So I think his feat, he's basically jacking up his linguistic skill, and he got rid of combat casting to do that. Barnabas, as a 7th level feat, also took Orator, which I think also allows him to do a bunch of things with his linguistics. He's basically trying to do he has one skill and it applies to multiple things. How did he spend his money? I don't know. Yeah, it's not clear. We'll probably have to retcon whatever Mark's spending his money on for now. That's Barnabas. Alistair trained 7th level. He took weapon focus Kukri. His goal eventually is to get dazzling display, so he can use his intimidate as an area of effect. Through Witch, he got Fly as his top spell and Bestow Curse. He also has Spectral Hand as a 2nd level spell, so he can start doing touch attacks from range. And then Anti-Paladin, he got 2nd level Anti-Paladin spells, which is interesting for him. There are some pretty standard 2nd level spells that he didn't get through Witch that he can also do through Anti-Paladin, which is nice. Mort, and then we'll do Grakkel. Mort, for his 7th level, let's see, what did Mark pick for Mort? Mort took its 7th level.
Armor focus full plate.
Armor focus full plate. Mark's all about making Mort untouchable. His AC is in the low 30s, basically, which is pretty damn good for 7th level and a fighter-y character. Mort also did some rune trading. We will have a scene where the party does pick up their abyssal steel weapons. He put shock into his abyssal steel weapon, which is nice. Grakkel, what did you do during downtime?
Grakkel did a couple of things. He realized how weak he was when fighting magic. So a very interesting tree is Cut from the Air, which is use your AOs to basically strike down ranged attacks. Higher levels of those feats will be like ranged spell attacks. So he took Cut from the Air. That was well, the first thing he did was he retrained a charisma to strength, then got a strength item to get 13, which was a prerequisite, leveled, and got Cut from the Air. Then I retrained one of my other feats from improved initiative to combat reflexes. Now now I'm allowed to use Cut from the Air a bunch of times, my dex number of times per round, which is pretty cool.
Cool.
And I got a lot of cool items. One I'm really looking forward to using is the Cloak of Arachnida. Constant, what's it called? What's the power?
Spider climb, and then you can move freely in web spells, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, it's got there's a lot of cool tactics I can do with that item now.
Okay.
So, that's him.
I think we're going to do a couple of downtime scenes, and then we're going to get to the next adventure, if you will. There is a group of you that is eager to get your hands on abyssal steel weapons, and has a deal with the Steelrose Watch. So Mort wants to get his weapon. Grakkel wants to get his weapon. And we'll say that this is during the selling phase. So we'll say Chagga and Ghost and Junker already are with the group when you go to fetch your items.
I also think we like the Steelrose Watch is a dangerous group of people, and you don't just send your wizard over there to pick up a hammer. Like you, like you go with enough force to make it, you know.
Right. All right, so the group wanders over to the Steelrose Watch. This is in the middle of what is going on in the city. This is in the middle of the sweep of the Imperial Census as it's passing through the South Wall District. The census has already passed through the Old Stacks neighborhood, but it is still making its way through the city, and that seems to be the talk of the town when you guys are out on town. I'm just going to take a glance to see what the party is doing at the same time that you guys are doing your selling, which is the first and second week of autumn.
Your voice is really muted right now.
BC wasn't picking up your voice well. I don't know if it was picking up well.
I'm checking the stream. It's just us.
Yeah.
Stream's fine. Sorry, go on.
Okay, second week of autumn. It looks like the party is doing the monster hunt. Yeah, you go there on the first week of autumn, they're not there. You go there on the second week of autumn, they're not there. You actually end up going on the third week of autumn. You're still in your downtime, and you find the party is there. And it looks like everyone was home.
Sorry.
A Dugan Schmurf comes out to meet you when you guys come knocking. Oh, what's the big deal and all the rock? Oh, it's you.
Greetings, Dugan Smith.
What do you want?
We were wondering if Master Craftman is ready with our weapons.
Yeah, I'll have to go check. We've, he looks over his shoulder. You probably want to stay outside. They're a little cranky after one of us almost drowned.
Right. We'll wait. Thank you.
Yeah, poor Kev. He almost got eaten by a monster out in the waves.
Swimming lessons are very important.
Not to mention we almost all died when we fell down an anthole.
Your adventures are interesting.
That's right. How you doing, Chagga? Oh, fine. You notice Chagga's checking his purses. He's digging around, and Dugan Schmurf turns invisible and just laughs. I'm going to remove 10 gold pieces from Chagga's sheet. Actually, nay. Chagga has no money at this point. I am taking out the Wand to Disrupt Undead and putting it on Dugan's sheet.
Well, Ghost is making certain that we're not being scoped by Capra, or if that's just what they're doing. That's what Ghost is doing. He's worried about snipers in the rooftops.
I'm just gonna make a note. Stolen from Chagga. I think Mark Dugan Schmurf threatened he was gonna rob Chagga every time he sees him.
Yeah, I think so.
Chagga will swear later. Dugan Schmurf goes flying back inside. Eventually, unless anyone else wants to come out of the Steelrose Watch to give this party a hard time.
I don't think Sonny has any particular interest, and if Capra knows they're outside, he'd be hiding in the rooftops, just Overwatch in and out.
Okay. Slake comes out by himself.
Yeah, Master Craftsman, Slake. It's good to see you.
Yeah. Here you go. He pulls out the Tetsubo, and Mort goes over. Mort's giggling as he's looking at the Tetsubo. Ah, they look sharp.
May I?
Yeah, here's your blade.
He bows.
Slake looks at you. He just kind of Instead of laying it horizontal, he just sort of shoves it vertically into one of your outstretched hands.
Yep. Just grab. Yep. Pull it out. Excellent. He looks back at Junker. Let's see those wizards jump away from this.
This metal's interesting. It seems to... It's gonna create some really jagged cuts.
Yes. If I angle my slice correctly, it will do a lot more damage.
Bending the metal, I wasn't able to save much in the way of scrap. Where the fuck did you get it?
You ask them. This was just my winnings.
Okay, he kind of pushes Grakkel out of the way to go towards the others to ask.
Grakkel's like, fuck it, I got my stuff. Whee!
Where did you get it?
Crazy construct.
We procured it in a battle against demons. Demons, huh? Oh.
Junker backs away.
Yes, demons. These were the only 3 weapons and items that were made of this metal. You still don't want to sell yours? No, actually, I've put magic on it. Slake looks annoyed at that. Well, if you find any more, I want it. Oh, all right, we could sell it to you. I'll pay for it. Yes.
Excellent.
Is that how commerce works? Yeah, that is how commerce works.
All right, deal. You find more of it, you bring it to me. You got that?
It appears you are the only one who can use it, so of course.
All right, then.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Yeah.
Why won't you love me?
He seemed to think that he would have had to push harder, but you seem to give in, so he's just scratching the back of his head and wanders back inside. Remember, you find any more, you bring it directly to me. If I find out, you sell it to anyone else. And he's just laughing as he's clinking back down the tunnel, and it's kind of echoing a little bit. Like,
anybody else creeped out?
very pleasant, Chagga.
I'm very impressed with this weapon. DPS has just gone through roof.
Yeah, if he didn't fucking make it for us, I would have just bonked him over the head and killed him.
He looks a lot stronger than you. His head looks like he's made of metal. I wouldn't joke around like that from here.
Adam's got a hero point. Am I missing something in chat? I glanced away for a bit.
The next Adam immediate use hero point. Then apparently it's the next thing I do. I don't know.
Have a good one.
You gotta use it.
Well, that means that I'm not doing any actiony thing until it's going to be a big thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, you guys do your buying and selling. Chagga, I don't know about you, but 2,000 gold coins doesn't seem to go very far when you're buying magic.
No.
It was nice that we got all these new magical things, but we didn't get much to, like, buy specific things that we needed.
There are a few things I wanted, but I'm all out.
Ghost is like gonna tug on Chagga's robe.
Yep.
If you're ready to, help with finding, work,
Well, yes, that's just precisely what I was insinuating, Ghost. Very astute of you. Um, we haven't... There is a man who might have work for us. Well, he's part goat, part man. We've done a job before with him for him before.
So you're still mostly man. You would know the good noble house.
Oh,
Not like a rival, but you know the inside and the layout, and you know lots of money in there.
oh, you're talking about... I'd rather not go and kick over any syndicate families or any of their vassals, if you will. I've been too long out of the game, Ghost. I wouldn't know who I'm pissing off. And I think we've already pissed off a few people.
Not like these guys.
Perhaps we should get Barnabas. Yes. Or maybe we could go and visit the Sylvan Acres on our own.
I can come along.
I don't think anyone will bother us here. Yes. Let's take the initiative. We're already halfway there. It'd be a shame to walk all the way back to the tower just to fetch Barnabas to have to walk or ride a... Chuck is wiping his pate with a handkerchief. All right, Chagga is dragging the group of you while you're doing your commerce to go to the Sylvan Acres.
Okay, go to the Sylvan Acres. I mean, that's where the bow makers are, so I'm assuming the rats are familiar with the place.
Yep.
The bowyer.
Outside, you don't seem to be harassed. You are greeted by several fae as you're walking through the place. Most of them are flying. They come by, say hello, and kind of fly off. I don't know any of their names. It's like the group is getting noticed, basically, as you're wandering in. You see napping in the afternoon sun. It looks like some fae have glued fallen leaves to his face. Is Burr, the ogre. Chagga, let's see. Does Chagga have anything that is... Chagga does not have ghost sound. He does have telekinetic projectile. He is going to telekinetically project with a cantrip a bunch of acorns that are fallen, crab apples and acorns that have fallen from a couple trees across the street towards Burr. It takes about 2 or 3 of these things to wake him up. Bro! He looks at one of the leaves. It's like got sap on it. And he licks it, and then he has his leaf stuck to his lips, and he ends up, out of frustration, just kind of wrecking all the leaves, which then creates a bunch of broken, dry leaves all stuck around his face. Oh, hello, Bear. Is Nighthorn in? You have appointment? No. Chagga wiggles his fingers, and there's now a mage hand that's knocking at the door. Burr gets annoyed. He sticks his hand in like someone was knocking from the other side, or his head in. Oh, yeah. Oh, the fat guy, Chagga's here, and some of his friends. Okay. Yes, sir. Closes the door. He's just looking at you. Oh, you could go inside.
Okay, man.
Leave weapons in barrel.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck that. I'll guard the barrel. not putting my nuke Tetsubo in there. He's looking at the looking at the ogre.
Ghost will guard the barrel with Mort, and Junker will go in with his rat.
Okay. Chagga takes out his fiery scythe and his abyssal steel pick, and he has 3 daggers at his belt. 1 regular, 1 silver, 1 cold iron.
Did you try to say something?
Hmm?
I'm just getting a lot of feedback from.
He straightens up his now mirrored and deathless full plate. And he steps in. Junker and Grakkel probably a bit more tentative, as they've, I don't think, been in this place. Sitting behind a desk that is high up, carved from dark wood, is a dark-furred satyr. He's in a fine vest, and he seems to be writing something with a frilled pen. He's definitely sitting in a position of dominance in the dark chamber. You can hear the slight buzz of like winged creatures flitting around the room, although you cannot see them. Chagga waits politely. Mulberry looks up from his writing. He spreads some salt or sand across whatever he just wrote to help dry out the ink quicker. He puts the ink quill back, the pen back into a stand with a slight clink. He looks at Chagga. What? No muffins?
Nudge him.
Oh, sorry. We were actually out shopping. First things first. I will get muffins for you next time. Is there a particular flavor? I've been in the mood for chocolate as of late. Oh, yes, chocolate. You know, in the other side of the city, there is a chocolate bar that I would very much recommend. Mulberry's listening.
Does Mulberry have a garbage bin or dustbin in his office?
You're looking around. In the corner, there's something that could be either a garbage bin or a chamber pot.
That's where Junker's gonna go take a look. Investigate.
All right.
If this guy's asking for Chagga's cooking, he must have some tasty garbage.
Mulberry notices that you're going over towards like the chamber pot, and he doesn't say anything, although he's looking at Chagga before. Yes, it is called the 3 Chocolatiers. Ah, I've heard of the place. I've never been. If I were ever in the North District, I will stop by. Yes, yes. They have all sorts of varieties. I prefer it a little bit warm, mixed with milk. Who might these 2 be?
I'm giggling at preferring it warm, mixed with milk.
We've done some work for you. Junker is one of a pair of Nizumi that are associates. He is a ratling of the streets, so to speak. He can speak to rats, amongst other things. Is there a reason why he's going through my waste?
It's a chamber pot?
Somebody might have peed in here, yes, but you do see that there are several crumpled up pieces of paper. There is a half-eaten apple, and there's what looks like somebody's like torn up scarf.
Okay, we'll grab the half-eaten apple.
Okay. There's some whispering and fey like high up in the rafters of the room.
The torn up paper. We're gonna see if we have sleight of hand. We might, we don't slate nothing. He doesn't. Apparently,
So
His brother doesn't steal it.
Takes out the half-eaten rotten apple and sticks it into a horrible bag. There's this brief smell, like you know when you open a garbage bin and it's kind of ripe. Like he opens a bag and sticks it in there. It's like, oh, there's now like this little bit of a garbagey funk in the room. Mulberry's nose twitches. He politely refrains from saying anything, but he's eyeing Junker and what his next move is.
My apologies for... I'm Grakkel Roven, a companion of a friend here.
Let's see. What is your father's name, Grakkel?
My father's name? Mr. Roven? He would be... Nope, it's not times table, Roven. Let's see.
Did Mark... I'm just sort of...
He is the amount of time it takes me. Hold on. Let's see.
Okay, maybe he just knows who your family is. He knows the last name Roven. Ah. You're the Slake family that teaches people how to fight with swords.
Yes, it is correct.
He used a rather rude term, although you
Slags?
think, yeah, he might have used it not quite knowing that it is a derogatory term of a subrace of hobgoblin that are smaller and much more dexterous, whereas there's another subrace that are like very large and brutish. And these two lineages of hobgoblins are sometimes at odds, and you're definitely of the lineage of the smaller and more dexterous hobgoblins. He didn't use the proper name, probably because he doesn't know it, or it's much more formal. He's not incorrect. It's just not. It wasn't a polite thing to say. In the same way, I think if you called a halfling, they just kind of go, "Yep," but I'm pretty sure halflings have a different name for their own damn race instead of a comparison in size to humans, right? Yeah, like Hobbit or Hin or something like that. Yeah, he recognized what subrace you were. That's not to say that there isn't the vast majority of hobgoblins are kind of in the middle, but there seems to be like two kind of
major groups.
He not only recognized your last name, but knew your family business.
Yep, it is correct. I am one of the senpais.
Interesting. To what do I owe the pleasure, Chagga? Ooh, we haven't heard from you in a while, and we do like to keep our friends close. We're actually looking for work. The three of you? Oh, no, we have myself and Grakkel and Junker and Ghost. Junker's ever-present Nizumi companion is outside, as well as Mort. I do believe you've met Mort before. Yes, the ill-tempered nephew of... Marty is drawing a blank. Granomir. Yes. Barnabas is also with us. He's a bit busy at the moment, studying books and things, as professors often do. Ex-professor, I believe, but sure. I assume you're looking for... And he's like, what the fuck goes over what Junker's doing?
He's looking around. He's looking for stuff.
Yeah, it's a Spartan chamber. There are some benches across the way. Junker does... Give me a perception check. Let's see if you find something.
While he's doing this, Carter's like, Chagga, you fucking asshole. Smile. Ha ha ha.
22.
Without being terribly rude and going up into the desk area, which was where most of the objects are, you do find a trunk. It's more like a bench that has a trunk in it, like in the seat. Are you opening up the trunk and looking in?
If there's a hole or a handle that you could maybe look at,
You dark vision?
might. Yeah.
Okay, so you're peeking in there. You notice that that Mulberry might have shifted slightly embarrassed, or didn't want you to see this during this polite conversation. But you see inside the trunk several sets of manacles going all the way down to diminutive in size. There is a medium-sized straitjacket that has blood on it, several saps, and what look like crude tools, some of which might be cold iron. You think you found a convincing kit.
Convincing kit. He giggles a bit and he moves on.
Okay.
He doesn't go past the desk. The desk is like this is the socially acceptable line.
Yep. That's fine. Mulberry makes a mental note to move the bench further towards the back, or put a lock on it, or just a cork in the hole or something. Ironically, this would be the equipment that the Snicker and Slice use to restrain Dugan while they have their way with him a little bit later on in the timeline.
Which hasn't quite happened yet. The blood is not Dugan's blood yet.
Yeah, I don't think so. Give me a second.
No, this was happier times.
It's soon.
Yep. I think it's the adventure after the hunting adventure where we.
Yeah, Dugan was doing. Amadeus was living at the Sisters. It's really soon, where they knock over the jewelry shop, and then the adventure after that was them going into the Underdark to kill Undertown. So it's soon. Mm-hmm. It's just there. Interesting. Okay. I assume you're not looking for petty wages, says Nighthorn. Oh no, we were remarking that magic is quite expensive, even with the gracious deal that we have with the crafter that you've provided the material components for. Just Nighthorn just raises his hand. I understand. I want your band to be very effective. I have plans, you see. Plans that may require the services of mercenaries such as you. He looks down at Junker.
He's checking this side of the desk.
Yep. There is a task that I've been looking for the right group to go and, well, I assume group, to go and do. It won't take you very far from Foundry, but it will require some metal as well as quick thinking. Some negotiation, perhaps. And I would want whatever band that I sent out there to have the wherewithal to recognize what it is that they come across, acquire it, and have the strength to keep it should things turn violent. Specifically, it is not the death of a thing that I require. It is only an item, and a small one at that.
In Nizumi, he specialties.
Yes, procuring an item sounds like something we could do. Yes, you have shown some finesse in dealing with the Fae. I suspect that there will be Fae at least in the vicinity of where this item resides. Oh? If you're interested in taking this job, perhaps we should get into specifics.
Grakkel looks at him. It's like, let's hear this out.
There is a small valley to the south. It's a few days out of town, perhaps 4 by foot. It is called Winter's Nook. He waits for a moment.
Knowledge, nature?
Sure.
Sounds like it's cold there. Unless it's an ironic name. 19.
Given that it's in the vicinity of Foundry, yeah, knowledge nature. You didn't know where this place was, but you've heard of it, Junker. You've heard of a place where winter's grasp upon the valley is strong, and that only 1 season out of 4 does another season rain.
With a 19, I don't think I understand the fake court stuff. Or do I understand fake courts at all?
I don't think you've gotten tangled up in the fake court stuff, so...
Will knowledge local help, Marty?
Yeah, knowledge local, there will be a slight penalty as it's outside of Foundry, but it's in the same area as Foundry.
Yeah, 20.
All right.
Totals.
Knowledge local. Yeah, there is a valley called Winter's Nook Valley. There's a village in the valley. There's a lake. You know that the village of halflings act as ice cutters and provide ice for the rich people in Foundry. Their main export is ice.
Nice. Yes, I'm familiar with this location.
It's 4 days. It's about 4 days outside of Foundry. Between, yeah. You know, it's to the south. It might also be a vacation spot.
Like cross-country skiing or something?
There's a almost permanently frozen lake there.
Skating, ice fishing, racing.
Have you heard of the place? It's actually quite pleasant to visit in the summer.
I'm familiar with this place, yes.
I want you to travel to Winter's Nook, and I need you to acquire something that is there or in the vicinity of the place. I've never quite narrowed down where. Perhaps some of the residents of Winter's Nook know more. But I need something called a piece of Hoarfrost's beard.
A piece of Hoarfrost's beard.
I believe it's some sort of creature. It might dwell near Crystal Lake. Again, the residents of Winter's Nook probably could tell you more, or at least lead you in the right direction. I'd rather them not know that I hired you to go and find a piece of Hoarfrost's beard. You might encounter additional resistance from the people that live there if you were to make this obvious. Oh. that doesn't sound so hard. From what I
What's a hoarfrost?
have gathered, Hoarfrost is some sort of ice beast that dwells on the far side of the lake, or perhaps under the lake. I'm not sure.
Under the lake.
To be on ice.
Again, the locals will know.
Knowledge nature for a hoarfrost.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. 24.
It is a proper name, likely. You don't know
It
of
is
any
Bob.
creatures. Yeah, you don't know any creatures whose type is called Hoarfrost.
Well,
And it's Hoarfrost is kind of another name for rime.
yeah, when it's really, really, really cold out, you get that stuff on your windows.
Yeah.
You sublimate to ice. Yeah.
The inside of your freezer, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have to ask. Junker thinks we have to ask Barnabas. He'll tell us all the things we need to know. We just need a couple of nouns and maybe a vowel, and you'll solve the puzzle.
Do you have any contacts in Winter's Nook?
Grakkel looks around. I do not, but perhaps you.
I know of some of the Fae that live among the halflings, that comprise of most of the population of Winter's Nook village. There is a woman by the name of Sprita that we've always been quite impressed with. She really likes to, how do they say it, glide upon the lake. She might know more about the lake and its dangers. Their mare is pliable with food and drink, perhaps money. There are some secrets in that town that you might be able to exploit. If you really wanted to push them. I would see how devout they are to Sylvanus. Of course, you may ruffle a few feathers that way.
I don't think Grakkel or Chagga speak Nizumi. Junker's gonna pull out a couple of copper coins and start rubbing them together, kind of obviously.
Right. Oh, yes. As for our payment, if this thing is an ice beast, it might very well have treasures of its own. You can keep whatever you find. It is particularly pieces of its beard that I'm interested in. If you find more than one. I have a description that its beard looks like it is made of ice. If it's made of ice, you may have to find a way to keep it.
Sort of melting.
Yes.
This was going to ask you.
The more shards of it that you have, the better. But one is the bare minimum.
Junker furrows his brow and holds the 2 copper coins up higher and rubs them.
What do you think would be fair? Ooh, Chagga leans into Grakkel. more than a few thousand gold pieces apiece?
Yes.
Right. We would like 30,000 gold coins. Mulberry looks at you. We have a rather large group and some big expenses. 10. I will give you 10,000 gold coins. And an additional 1,000 for each magical shard that you acquire from his beard.
Just a correction. You do not want the Hoarfrost to be killed.
No.
What does this beast do?
I don't know. Whatever it is, it doesn't bother the halflings of Winterstock.
Alright. You'll try.
Mark, this is what I like to hear. No Halloween special. It sounds like we're going to Christmas Town, where no doubt all residents love to give expensive gifts to guests and DMs like to gift XP to players. You didn't hear the warning I gave the players before the stream. You'll know when the mic drops. All right.
When Jack Skellington shows up, we know what's up.
Make it 20,000. You were going to say 15. Yes, just before I corrected myself, it said 20. Let's make it 18. Chagga looks to Junker and looks to Grakkel.
Junker nods to that. Yeah, Junker puts away his copper coins.
With the bonus for each of the spines of this beard that still holds magic. All right. What sort of magic? I believe it would be conjuration magic. Interesting. Chagga makes a note.
This does not bode well for us.
I am stepping away to drop my wife off. I'll be back in 20 minutes.
Okay.
18 speed bike.
ET bike.
Awesome.
All right.
This is going to hurt. I could tell.
Chagga,
what season are we in?
you guys are
Almost end of summer, I think, right?
You finish all of your trading and training on the 4th week of autumn.
Oh, autumn, here we go. Oh, okay, so we're beginning of autumn.
Yep.
Okay.
Is it agreed? Oh yes, we will go and fetch Barnabas and leave likely in the morrow. Do pack something warm to wear.
Yes. It looks like it's going to be a warm few days.
Chagga maybe doesn't know that this place has a reputation for being cold.
It's constantly freezing there.
What? I see.
Frost.
We will go there and have a look around and see what we can do. Is there any time pressure? I would like to have these things before the onset of winter. That leaves you plenty of time, I imagine. Oh yes, that's several months away.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, 2.5 months.
Roll the roll. Welcome to the channel. Let us know if you have any questions. We are playing Master of Puppets. This is game 18 of our side campaign to the Grimstone Chronicles campaign. At the end of this chapter, both of the groups will intertwine, and we already have things set up for Chapter 2. We're kind of catching this second party up in the timeline to a little valley where winter takes hold 3/4 of the year. Apparently a bunch of halflings live there, and they are to acquire pieces of something called Hoarfrost's beard. They don't know what it is, neither does the quest giver. Thanks, Samurai.
We also do many voices.
So,
Yeah.
thanks for stopping in. All right, so Chagga leaves Nighthorn's office along with Grakkel and Junker. They seem to be bobbing their heads up and down excitedly, both of the Nezumi, at the prospect of making that much coin to go get beard trimmings. If you understand Nezumi, you can understand the jokes that they're making. Because the two of them are basically sneak thieves at heart, they have no problem with going and taking something that isn't theirs. Mort's like, yeah, we get to beat up some monster? All right. He's picking his nose and digging really far in.
As long as this act does not kill the monster, and we are not killing the monster itself, it is not causing harm to the halflings in the area.
Yeah, whatever. Halflings? Huh.
We're heading south.
Curious that this snowy valley is in the south. Chagga still seems to be confused about what's going on. On your walk back to the tower, you fill him in with what little you know about the area. And you meet up with Barnabas at the Bellefonte Tower.
Let's ask Barnabas. He will be able to tell us more.
Okay. Junker and Ghost are within earshot. They seem to be tending to the direbat that they captured from Bargle's dungeon. Chagga immediately starts cooking up things as he's cooking dinner. Los is running around the tower practicing with his sword, running through walls if he can. Los is a ghost who is bound to a funerary urn. Eventually you do have Barnabas come downstairs, sitting at the table. It does look like he's a little bit buzzed, as Barnabas spends a lot of his time drinking whiskey. Chagga's in the other room, so you have to fill him in.
Yep.
What's this I hear about a job? Says Barnabas, kind of swaying slightly. Alistair's there. Alistair's looking really, really icky. While his token shows this nice mirrored mask, in the last fight it got melted to his face and is kind of like an extra film on top of his face, and it's cracked and broken in several places so he can actually breathe. He is looking pretty gross.
Barnabas, we were just visiting Norbury in the Sylvan, not Sylvan Acres, what they call.
Sylvan Acres, that's right.
Yes, Sylvan Acres. And Chagga and Mulberry came to agreement on a task for us to get. Are you familiar with Hoarfrost? He's in the south. It's a creature in the... I don't remember the name of the city or the town.
Winter's Nook.
Winter's Nook. He's a creature of Winter's Nook. It's a constant ice and snow.
Let's see if Barnabas knows about this. Filling in for Mark while he's away.
I'm giving him a bit more information. He says he requires a beard, which is frozen. It has magic properties.
I ain't got no clue what you're talking about with no beard. Fuck. fucking weird as that, whatever that is. I'll have a better idea if I ever saw it. As for Winter's Nook, yeah, it's got a magical lake that's always frozen or something.
It's always frozen. That's correct. All I know is that we will have one challenge that we might have to figure out now, is to how do we bring the frozen beard back before it melts and the magic is gone. So that is one puzzle we have to deal with. The other thing is to procure the heavy clothing, because it is cold.
Well, how do you think we should do it?
To bring the magic ice back.
Wait, we're going there
you are
to
with
fetch,
it.
we're going there to fetch ice? The fuck do you get us into, Chagga? Dinner's coming.
It is ice from Hoarfrost beard. Hoarfrost's creature lives there.
Oh, it's some sort of creature ice. There's all sorts of creatures of ice. There's ice golems, ice elementals, ice dragons, ice...
This one is known to the halflings. You'll have to find out.
Oh, that's right. Halflings live there. I've always wanted to go and visit these halflings. These halflings, apparently a long time ago, came from a different world.
It'd be interesting to know why.
Some sort of planar refugees or something.
Sorry?
Planar refugees.
Yes.
I never figured out why they ran.
You can come along and ask them.
Oh, that's what I'm gonna fucking do. You don't think I'm going to just sit around here in the tower, leaving you all to go on? Hey, that place is nice. I hear people go there during the summer to cool off.
And we offered 10,000 gold piece for retrieving it.
Mort just starts laughing. Barnabas sees you. Raw. Hey, Chagga, how much we get paid for this? Oh, 18,000 plus a bonus for extras. 10,000 my fucking ass, he says. Yeah, you're learning. Mort seems to be impressed with Grakkel making that joke. You're not going to steal from me, says Alistair.
He looks at you.
Giving you a creepy look. He is pretty creeps.
Are you feeling better, Alistair?
Yes. I feel just fine.
Good.
Alright, stop laughing like that. You're even beginning to creep me out. Alright,
Yeah.
Chagga, when are we leaving? Oh, we're leaving tomorrow. That's why I need to get cooking. Apparently, it's like a 4-day trip for your horse.
Yes, it is 4-day ride journey. I shall go and get some winter clothing.
Yeah, I'd pack some long johns if I were you. You know the underpants, fuzzy? They go underneath your pants?
Yes.
Keep your balls warm.
Yes.
There's a bit of an awkward silence after that.
Winter gear costs what? Because I don't have any.
It's a good question. Let's just do a quick search here. If you're in a city, you could definitely go and spend money on winter gear, winter clothing, or cold weather outfit, I think it's called.
Cold weather clothing, Canada. Nope. Clothing container, adventure gear. Adventure gear? In here?
Cold weather outfit is 8 gold pieces. There are 7 of you that could benefit from this. 56 gold. Let me see if we have that in the treasure and loot. Yep. I'll just subtract it.
Hmm. 8 gold.
No, I already subtracted for the party.
You did?
Yeah. So there's 8 cold weather or 7 cold weather outfits.
Are there any limitations to physical abilities due to this clothing?
No, you kind of wear it over top. It doesn't make you impervious. I believe it helps out with your saving throws against cold weather. +5 circumstance bonus on fortitude saves versus cold weather. And while you'd think fighting with mittens and a wool cap and a linen shirt and a wool coat on would be bad, there's no mechanical problem with that.
Cool. Obviously, who wrote this did not come from Canada.
Right. You know, the -3 armor check penalty because you've got
This is mittens.
ski pants on, right? You guys, as you try it on, you actually have to go back a couple of times the rest of the day to find stuff that fits Chagga because of how big he is. Chagga looks ridiculous in the cold weather outfit. He's got a big toque on, which is a knitted hat for the
weird ears.
Yeah, with pom-poms in the ears and everything like that. He's got big mittens on, and he seems to be all ready. The party gathers up, and I think the rats are going to leave the Direbat behind.
That's not going to do well in snow.
You guys leave Tarp behind in the tower. He's busy copying spells. So I think it's just the main group. I don't think you're taking any additional NPCs along. No. Okay.
Winter gear for our horses and cart. Is there anything like that we need?
I'll subtract another 20 gold pieces and say that you have saddle blankets and
like if we put studs in the wheels, that'll actually help.
Okay, you don't have enough time to do that unless you're like really waiting.
No. Well, we have 2 months and a half, so there's time. But I don't want to rush. I don't want to rush that shit in the end. So we can just go, and we're strong enough to push it if we need to. So whatever.
Right. We likely won't need that level of stuff until we actually get to the town. There are people that live there. I imagine carts can get down the road. Well, here's to hoping.
They apparently ship... Oh, I have a good idea. If the biggest export from town is ice, yes?
I don't know, you tell me.
It is. The biggest export from that town is ice. It is brought here by halflings to the wealthy. Why don't we use this same schedule so that when we bring back frozen ice beard crystals, they stay frozen?
Oh, we could just pack a wagon full of ice and keep the things in the middle.
Yes.
Oh, we're going to be able to have some iced cream when we're there. Or maybe some flavored snow cones.
Puts his hand...
Chagga, being a gourmand, gets excited at anything food. Food or taste related. Oh, I'm looking forward to some snow cones. I wonder what sort of things they're using for sugar.
Perhaps you can make a business and bring sugar to them. Mm-hmm.
Oh, some sort of syrup, perhaps, made from sap. Or maybe it is honey, sugar cane. There are all sorts of things that are sweet. I even hear there's a weird flower down south. It's more of a hallucinogenic. It might actually be sweet. So I've heard. Right, you've heard about it. Oh, yes.
I would be interested in trying this thing.
Oh, probably not there. Halfling,
no,
not remember safe. The last halfling village where we were? We had a nice feast while we were there. Grakkel, were you with us then?
No.
Right, you missed the fight against those fucking things, the mandragoras. Oh yes, they were very, very awful.
I'm sorry for your experience without me. So
yeah.
Good
We eat like kings there. Let's go rob a bunch of halflings. We're not there to rob the halflings. We're there to rob some creature of his beard.
We'll try not to kill Hoarfrost. We only need pieces of beard. We do not need to kill the creature. It is not causing trouble or grief for the halfling.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
All right, it is a 4-day trip. It sounds like you guys are traveling via carriage. I'm going to switch maps for a second to show you where you're going. Don't open this up very often, but it sounds like leaving the city, we should have a glance at the world map.
Yeah.
All right, here's Foundry. Do you remember the sunken garden, the grove where you guys
and the other
went and
the
fought
other
the
group?
Treant? That is slightly outside of town, and you basically traveled on the outside of the South Lyriad Woods to get there.
Okay, so there's one of the seasons. Other one of the seasons was in Foundry, the fall, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then winter is south, and summer is up north. They're really close to each other.
Yeah, unfortunately, this party doesn't have any knowledge
About they don't know any of
about
this.
the Fey connected
Course.
seasonal court areas. But yes, you are seeing a pattern here. As you
Diamond-ish.
if you really wanted to complete the pattern, there would be a dot right in the middle of Foundry where the autumn area is, and I forget what we called it.
Fall court.
No, it had a specific name.
As you enter, you fall.
Right. Yeah. So there might be something too. And then Forest Top was the place where you found out where the Elven Priestess is. The Lich trapped in the basement of your tower wants you to go there and snuff her out. While you guys were training, this past training, that's all he could talk about.
Did he want us to bring her back, or just...
He was fine with you bringing her back, but he really didn't care whether it was dead or alive.
Okay.
He waxed poetically and with great malice about how he wanted her to pay for her treachery.
How did he take the death of Bargo?
Did you guys explain to him? I don't think you did.
We
Because
didn't play it. We just came back and...
He came back and he just assumed, like, when you guys told him, when you told him that you now know where she is, he started cackling about how he wanted vengeance upon Tesarowin.
Okay. Let's not bring that up.
You guys didn't go into any details about Bargle. He didn't ask. Almost like he was in his lichdom very, very focused.
Yeah.
Of course, Grakkel didn't get all of that because Grakkel doesn't train with him. You actually went back to your dojo to do your training.
Oh, he offered me a reward. What was the reward? Because Grakkel would have asked him about that. Because said you will be rewarded for your...
Yeah, he told you that the reward will come when she is mine.
Okay, cool. No problem.
Okay.
The
party leaves. The party leaves Foundry. Each of these hexes is about 60 miles, and Barnabas tells you that Winter's Nook Valley, that the icy lake may feed a much larger lake called Founder's Lock, and let's see, 60 miles, which would be 1, 2, 3. And a
how
bit.
big of an area is frozen, by the way? Because that will affect our speed of travel.
Barnabas says it's just probably the lakes south of Founder's Lock that are frozen.
Is there a so when I'm looking, when I'm looking at this hex, do people just go around, or is there a boat service that goes across? Because that's a 60-mile. Like if you look at this hex here, we can travel direct. We can travel direct on land, and then we'd have to basically go down south here and go around. You know what I mean? We'd have to go around.
Yeah, Barnabas says there are roads that travel the coast. As you leave Foundry, you also realize that there's a train track that also follows the coast. And you seem to be heading in parallel to a train line. You see trains in your first day going to and fro
from
Foundry.
Winter Snook.
Well, oh no, you don't know whether they go all the way to Winter Snook. They definitely go down. They go down this neck here.
Let's see how far we can follow this train. Perhaps it would be faster for the ice to make sure it does not freeze.
At 40 miles a day on horseback or via your carriage, you guys can make good time. Barnabas is estimating that you will arrive in about 4.5 days.
Something to remind you, Barnabas. The ice beard shards, they have conjuration magic. This is what Barry said.
It's fucking curious. I'd very much like to study what it is that we're going to go get for Mr. Nighthorn. Maybe we'll keep one for ourselves.
He just wants at least one.
Okay, it looks like while you guys are traveling, there's not one but 2 random encounters. And close to a 3rd.
Sweet.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to combine the 2 random encounters together.
Sweet. Fuck. All right. I can play Ghost and Junker. Who else?
Yeah, Adam is driving his wife to work, so he'll be back in a bit.
Yeah, we can wait for him. So let's just see what character.
That's fine. No, I'll set up the random encounter. We'll just keep on going, jam in here, jam through it.
All right. So we've got. I can take Los. Chagga's Okay, I can take Los. Grakkel. Oh, Mort gets big. Los, Grakkel. Ghost and Junker. How's that? Is that enough for you, Marty?
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever you need me to do.
No, I was saying I can take Los, Grakkel, obviously, Ghost and Junker. I just don't know the other casters.
All right, the gray area is an Imperial Road that you guys are traveling down. I'm gonna say there's a bend in the road, so you can't see quite for miles. That's why I love Map Tool. You can make really quick, very big maps.
Yeah.
All right, then we need to break out a random encounter table because I have no idea what this encounter is.
So the two Nezumi are outside, and the rest are inside. What day of travel is this?
This is the second and it's the second day.
We're
Yeah,
getting
second.
random encountered it on the journey.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, man.
We rolled 2 random encounters, which I'm going to smush together.
Oh, perfect.
Good times.
You're about halfway in your trip, which is about 4.5 days by carriage. You're also starting to realize, because there are train tracks that run parallel to the Imperial Road, that there might have been a way to travel by train for part of the trip.
If you wanted to take the train, then Barnabas would have said take the train.
Right.
There's a way to bring back the ice, the ice shards or whatever, is to do the same thing that the halflings do. Pack a ton of ice with the stuff in the middle, and when we get there, it should still be there.
Barnabas doesn't know what the ice creature is. He doesn't know what a hoarfrost is. He's interested in studying the beard and says maybe we'll take an extra one for ourselves. He knows that the halflings that live in the village are the descendants of planar refugees. And he's eager to ask them how they got here. Like, why did they leave their world, kind of thing.
Does he think that local area is still aligned to the plane of fire?
Barnabas is in a wait-and-see kind of mode. Like, he looks eager about this stuff. I know that Barnabas really likes the planes and wants to plane hop one day. So, he seems to be really excited about this trip. And perhaps why you didn't travel by train was so that he can actually observe the surrounding side. With his new circlet, he's obviously wearing a new circlet that he got from one of the Bargles. You do catch him, like, meditating. Oh, every once in a while he, like, makes a noise like he's amazed by something that he's seeing in his head.
What are you doing?
Oh, great. I've finally communed with this circlet. It's fucking grand.
What does it do?
You know how each intelligence circlet helps you with a field of study?
Yes.
This one helps me with geography. And when I close my eyes and concentrate and go into sort of a meditative state, don't make fun of me.
Yeah, absolutely. No one drew anything on your face.
I see images of, like, different places and cities and mountains and geography.
It's fascinating.
Volcanica is surprisingly diverse. Geographically speaking, I saw a temple sitting in some jungle. I saw a city that looked like it was ruins. I saw some sort of big icy construct north. I just get images of, like, places on fucking Volcanica.
Interesting.
They're chatting amongst themselves. The ghost turns back. Does he smell like alcohol?
Alistair's like, yeah, he's been drinking.
Great, money changes hands in the front seat.
How very interesting, Barnabas. Do you think these places are real? It's a fucking circlet of geography. I fucking hope it's real. Else we're heading towards a cliff, because I wouldn't know anymore. Oh fuck, if this thing's cursed.
That's awesome.
Right, we might have to identify it again this evening.
Grakkel's looking at the gloves and belt and all the shit that he got. Like, oh, fuck.
Fascinating.
These things can be kissed?
Magic items can be cursed. Yeah, just shop at my uncle's. Eventually you get a cursed item, says Mort. Ooh, we shop there all the time.
Cursed, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, you might have a cursed thing.
Good to know.
I fucking think some of these places I've heard of, if this circlet ain't lying to me, they are places on Volcanica. I should probably independently verify their existence, but once I do, it does pose an interesting... I wonder if I could teleport to these places that I'm seeing.
It is teleport again.
Well, you see, and he goes on this really long lecture-y, starting from first principles lecture on how teleport works and how familiar you are with a location, you know, helps contain the magic so that you aren't split across the planes or that you arrive all in one piece. The dangers of materials being in the place where you envision. Well, it's still a bit fuzzy.
Puts a hand on the shoulder.
I'm not sure.
I'm very happy for you. I hope you can one time achieve this bullshit thing that you think is real. Good for you.
Mort's just laughing because you said bullshit. Alright, fine. When I'm fucking teleporting to interesting places, seeing interesting things, and procuring interesting devices, I ain't gonna take you with me, he says. Takes a swig from his flask, realizes that it's empty, and then goes into a pack that is clearly like supplies for later, and finds another bottle that's empty, and then finds another bottle, and is now trying to pour it into his flask while the wagon is moving.
Another couple of coins exchange hands in the front seat.
Yep. Ghost and Junker and their ever in their continual bets. Nice. Oh yeah, random encounters. What was I doing?
We're getting jumped by
We arrived to
a unicorn. I gotta.
Yeah, I need an encounter table.
We just capture the creature and bring it back alive. Just keep snipping pieces off.
We could take the whole Hoarfrost and just bring the whole thing back with us. That couldn't possibly go wrong.
Nope. See a problem with it.
Definitely won't have a bunch of planar halflings chasing us down, ankle biters, trying to throw snowballs at us.
Yeah, let's move at 30 feet. Can't catch me. Clean yourself.
Okay, so we're gonna roll a forest encounter because there are forests nearby, and we're gonna roll dangerous city, and we're gonna smoosh these two things together. I need because I want this to be a fun encounter, I need 3 D100 rolls, and I'm gonna pick the best. Adam, this is for the forest encounter, and then for the dangerous city, I need 3 D100 rolls. Ahmed.
19, 14, 33. So that's either at the tough end or at the weak end, depending on how they've scaled their chart. And I think it's the tough end.
78, 26, 76. Either a blue dragon or a really blue dragon. Hold on, mate.
There's no one, there's no 100, so it's Trask, you know. You're right, Mark. It will look like the title sequence, Your Highness. We're going to be running out with the Hoarfrost peen as a necklace.
Run, asshole, run! That's funny.
Nope.
$76, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We are so old, by the way, because that joke was funny 15 years ago.
20 years ago, probably. I don't know when that shit was.
Why would these things be interacting?
Maybe they don't like each other. Maybe they do like each other. Maybe it's incidental. Maybe they just want to hand over their treasure and then go on their merry way.
The liches have domesticated the local hydras.
We already
Fighting them into battle.
We already have liches in the campaign. We don't need more.
What are they, Marty? Yeah, exactly.
I could see a lich being like dangerous city, but it's like really dangerous city.
City you sleep in. You keep driving through that part of town.
That's why I don't ride a bicycle.
18 speed my ass.
Exactly.
A lich around the corner, goddammit.
Okay, the group sees smoke coming over the smoke rising from behind the next hill.
Okay.
Like campfire smoke, or
No,
like...
it's like billowing black smoke.
Some shit's on fire.
Like you're like, is somebody's house full of oil on fire?
Rats think that there could be some... They could help people with their salvage. So, you know...
Is there knocking on the cart?
Yeah, the knock on the cart, and in the zoomy, bunch of smoke. He's gonna cast a see invisibility.
What did you say?
Ghost repeats what Junker said. Still in the zoomy, bunch of smoke.
Okay, I'm going to draw the contours of kind of a hill that might be blocking the view. I won't make it completely contoured. It's the base of the hill that's blocking the view of something over here that's billowing black smoke.
Like
It's actually pretty close.
Dark gray line is the train tracks, yeah.
Yep.
We still haven't gotten out yet.
Yeah, it looks like there were some fortune points and channel points. Let me just get to those. They were buried while I was...
I'm pretty certain the word train is used in Nizumi, and I don't think Nizumi has a word for train, so that would be in common.
So just refilling water
2
here.
fortune points, 1 for me, and I think there were a couple hero points from before, right?
Yeah, this action junkie guy keeps buying hero points for this Grakkel guy.
I will let the hero points be... You could spend them later. Instead of hero pointing initiative.
Ah! I don't know!
Alright, are you guys slowing down? Or are you stopping?
I think we're slowing down.
Okay.
I think we're gonna try to here.
What did we say about Halloween? We keep driving. No, of course we stop it.
Okay, you can hear some...
There might be people we can save and help with their salvage.
You can hear some very loud and low voices, like... And you can hear...
Like giants or obliges or something?
Yeah, they're very guttural, low, and there's the clanging against metal. Like someone beating up a train car with a club or something.
The rats are pulling the horses over. And I think Junker is staying with the wagon. Just so that in case we need to make a quick getaway, and Ghost is gonna go for a scout. I don't know if anybody else is gonna join him.
Yeah, Grakkel's coming along with you. I'm coming. Marty got me scared, so I'm just, stress eating again. Damn it. Grakkel's got a stealth of 24 right now, I believe.
Well, you're sneakier than a rat, so. You sneaky rat.
But you are small. Oh, the spider climb thing is so nice. Any trees, I'm climbing.
Alistair is not sneaky?
Alistair's sneaky.
Does he want to join the scout group or no?
Yeah, he's interested in mayhem. He's got a plus 13 stealth.
Okay. At the distances we're talking, that should be fine.
Yeah. Well, are you guys going up the hill, or are you going around the edge of the hill, try to get towards where there's at least some flat area near the tracks?
I think we're going to go around this way.
Okay, I'm spending a DM point to make this this random encounter tougher.
Nice. Let's try this abyssal steel samurai sword out. See what we get. Okay, Marty, in the morning would... It has one save. Oh, Wither, thanks, buddy. In the morning, would Grakkel have time to just pick up some leaves along the path and make a suit for his camouflage?
You did not say you were doing that before this encounter, so no.
Okay, I'll be doing that from now on. In this trip. Okay, so sneaky. 25 actually. Excuse me. So where's the stealth on the sheet? Capra, no, wrong one.
Holy, no.
Where's the stealth on the OneNote on the Excel sheet? I don't see it.
It's not Pathfinder 2.
It's not here? Okay.
Pathfinder 2, you need to track all those numbers.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't know if we have the vitals in the combat sheet. If they are, I have not been updating them.
Okay. You guys sneak to the edge. You sneak. And the others are probably gathering a little bit closer.
Okay. Do you want me to roll stealth here?
Somebody needs to take Mort.
Okay, 20 plus.
You want Mort or Barnabas?
I'll take Mort.
Okay. If you guys understand Giant, you might be able to understand a few of these things, although you can kind of get their meaning. You guys sneak up to the edge here. Who's got the lowest stealth?
That would be Alistair.
Alistair at 13, so that's... If you rolled a 14...
It's still pretty far.
Yeah, it's still pretty far. So you guys you're kind of in the ditch beside the train tracks. These are industrial trains. It looks like they're kind of the same make as the military trains. I might have drawn them a little bit too wide here. Actually, we can fix that by adjusting the grid.
Holy crap. It's a lot of Cyclops.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's a lot of meat there, Marty.
Here's the thing. I was like, oh look, they're medium.
No.
You can see it looks like while two of the trains have derailed, the middle cart pushed over. It looks like this middle cart is where a lot of the coal was stored, and it's also on fire. like the coal is burning straight out of the cart. It's still twisted and attached to another cart that slightly jumped the tracks. This one looks like a caboose. And this looks like an engine. It looks like a train that may not have been carrying very much. There is debris that was spread for at least 100 feet. As it looks like this train tried to get through what the giants likely placed along the tracks as a barricade. You could see heavy rocks and trees, and it looks like they've taken everything from this hill, chopped it down, and rolled it onto the tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, they are pounding away upon heavy iron doors, trying to get into the front of the train. They being incredibly muscular humanoids. The smaller ones are still the size of ogres. They have but single eyes in their heads. 9-foot-tall giants with great axes and great clubs. It's their boss, if you will, the one that's hollering orders, that is truly titanic in size. It is 30 feet tall, with a massive horn coming from the top of its head.
Easy now.
30 feet tall?
30. It has a great club the size of a tree, and looks like it is reaching into a place where it had basically torn open in the side of the engine, and you can see that it's grabbed one of the conductors. The guy is screaming, and he's just opening his mouth back, and he's like, oh, yep, he's eating... He just ate that dude's head.
Don't eat the dude's head. Alright.
He's got the body in his hand, blood flying everywhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
This is why I stress eat.
There is one Cyclops on the other side. You can hear a gun going off, like some sort of pistol, like... And one Cyclops has, I don't know, we'll say 20 damage.
Okay, I think we're going to start casting spells.
Okay. The Cyclops seem to be preoccupied. However, Cyclopses have flashes of insight, and they are creatures that can sense brutality and maybe even slightly prescient. I'm going to roll 2d6 to see how many rounds before the greater Cyclops gets the prescient feeling of oncoming combat and turns towards where all of you guys are standing.
Mm-hmm.
I said 2d6, right?
Yep.
Come on.
Yes. All right. So you guys stood there. You got your sense of it. Then cast 2 rounds of spells and powers.
Grakkel starts moving automatically. Because guess what?
Or 2 rounds of movement. 2 rounds of actions before I roll initiative.
Cats to grace. And the shield spell. And the bow is turned on to be more plussing.
Grakkel uses his once per day long arms.
Okay. Wow, the greater Cyclops has a +1.
He's a big hunk of man over there.
Big
It's a
meat.
hit though.
A big hunk of love. All right.
Mort.
So the dudes around
Yeah,
the corner don't actually see; they just hear.
So Mort does mutagen. Big. He doesn't rage, does he?
Okay. I'm also going to give Ghost, Grakkel, or Alistair a knowledge nature as part of that 2 rounds.